Okay, so for starters, we're just going to have a quick little update on how things have been going with this project so far. If you've been following me on stream so far, you will know that we've got a fully functioning drop-down menu, which works perfectly. It's a little bit buggy. The alignment of the text is a little bit off, which is a known issue, and we will get to fixing eventually. But for now, like I keep saying, function over form. We also have a slider bar, which works perfectly, and a progress bar, which also works perfectly. We have toggle buttons, we have label elements, and we have buttons. So that all works perfectly, and I'm really happy with how that goes. So the next thing we need to work on is a text box, for sure. We definitely need a text box. So that is going to be our next target. Now, there's a reason why this is a particularly big deal for me. And this is because when I initially set out to make a text box, I thought it would actually end up being impossible. And here's why. Because text boxes require something called clipping. So this is where you restrict what renders within certain constraints on the screen. So for instance, if you have, let's say, like a rectangle on the screen, you can clip something to only render inside that rectangle, and that's basically what clipping is. And p5.js doesn't actually have the means to support clipping inbuilt. So I kind of thought that I would be completely done for in regards to actually getting it to work. But lucky for me, there is actually the clipping function within Canvas, which works perfectly in p5.js. So my plan moving forward now is to make the text box, basically, because I have everything that I need to make do with that. So we're going to start now, and we'll see how it goes. I'm anticipating it was going to be a complicated thing to do, because I see a lot of issues where, you know, when you type enough into the text box that it overrides the width of it. We need to shift the text label that's inside the text box then to the left for the amount of characters that we've typed each time. And then we've got to handle things like text highlighting, and, you know, when you click, you want to sort of skip the text flashing indicator to the correct place. There's going to be all sorts of really complicated little functions that we just take completely for granted with text boxes usually. So this is going to be quite an interesting one. So yeah, I don't suspect this is going to be an overnight jobby. I think this is probably going to take us several days to figure out how to work. So this is day one. Let's see how we go. Let's make a start. Okay, pretty cool stuff. Look at what we've got working here. So we now have a fully functioning text box. I mean, okay, fully functioning is definitely a bit of a stretch, but this has gone considerably more smoothly than I thought it would. And it's also unearthed a shit ton of stuff that I hadn't anticipated about how text boxes work. Like, for instance, how they, you know, interpret your text input even. Like, I can't do my typical shortcut keys like Control Backspace, right? That's not something I know how to do, and when I hold down Backspace, it doesn't delete everything like it would normally do. It only interprets it as one key press. Yeah, these things are easily fixable, but it just goes to show you how much goes into making a user interface that you just don't even notice or realize. But so far, it works, and I am super stoked about that. That is really fucking cool. That being said, there is a lot more work to do. As well as that, I do want to point out there are a few things that I have done here which I'm not particularly happy about. For instance, the on-key pressed global function being called and then passing that call through to the function within the text box class. Not happy with that. That isn't a permanent solution. I'm just trying to get it to work for now. But as it stands right now, I'm actually very happy with this. So tomorrow, hopefully, it's getting really late here now, so I kind of want to break off. But tomorrow I'm hoping to do something in the realms of shifting the label. So whenever we exceed the bounds of the text box, I actually want to sort of shift it further to, so I actually want to shift like the text label further to the left so that we can actually see what we're typing. I don't think that should be too difficult. I think that should be a pretty easy task. Eventually I'd also like to animate the little the text marker on there. I also want to sort of fix the alignment of it because I think it's slightly off. But other than that, I'm pretty excited about this, to be perfectly honest. Really, really cool stuff. I also want to get like shift select stuff done as well, so we can do that. But yeah, so far so good. But yeah, for now, at least we have a functioning text box, and that is pretty exciting stuff.